It is Friday, the 31st of May, 2024. We're looking at the sun setting, more or less behind the statue of Mary on Notre-Dame-de-Bonsecours chapel. It looks like it's going to set a bit to the right tonight. I was here last night, and it was a little bit to the right. So I expect it to be more to the right tonight. I really should have been here earlier in the week. I really should have come on the 27th or 28th, something like that, to get the sun setting directly behind the statue of Mary. But for various reasons I didn't. Partly just through sheer miscalculation. But now we know better for next year. The last week of May is one of the two periods in the year when it's possible to get this image of the sun setting down behind the statue of Mary. So the ISO is 100. It's 1600 of a second at the moment. What's the f-stop? F16. So basically shot a film photo at a 2000th f11 ISO 50 Velvia, Fuji Velvia slide film, but it's probably not quite as sensitive as 50. It's probably more like 32 or 40. So the sun's above the statue of Mary now, and so 4000th at f11, 2000th at f11 with ISO 50 film. Might be a little on the dark side, but I'd rather have it a little on the dark side than washed out. So yeah, sun's definitely significantly higher than it was last night. Significantly to the north. If I wanted the sun setting down behind Mary, I'd have to move significantly to my left, which would put Mary, butting up against the other spire on the left here. So I basically am a bit on the late side for this. I really should have been here 27th, 28th, 29th of May. But according to my calculations, that wasn't quite the case. But obviously my calculations were wrong. So, live and learn. Anyhow, it's still a nice image. But it's kind of nice when the sun is framing the statue of Mary. So, just debating. I guess I'll do I shot a couple of more slides. I'm trying to finish up a roll of Fuji Velvia that I've had in the camera for a little while. So Yeah, definitely should have been here, I'd say 3 to 5 nights ago, in terms of getting the sun setting behind the statue of Mary while in this position where Mary's between the two spires. And that's that. We'll just have to live with being a little on the late side. As you can see, there's a lot of wobble here. The bridge I'm on is not solid. pretty flexible, shall we say. Well, this is nice with the seagull going through. And there's no image stabilization on either the lens or the camera. You're not really supposed to use image stabilization with a lens that's got stabilization in the lens. I might be able to get away with it more on a camera that has stabilization on the sensor. But honestly, the wobble is so much that I'm not even sure that a camera that had a stabilized sensor would do a lot better anyway. It's really just something we have to live with. So the sun's nicely framing the spire, which, as I said, if I'd been here, a couple of nights ago, it would have been framing the statue of Mary. 2 or 3 nights ago, I think, maybe 4. You can obviously shift your position a little bit. There is some wiggle room, shall we say. But I missed that opportunity. So, it's still interesting. And I have lots of photos, videos from previous years where the sun is going down behind Mary, including last year. But a lot of the photos and videos were done in July, after the solstice, when the sun's coming back towards the south. Not that many were done in May, so I wasn't familiar with the correct dates for May particularly. So I just did the math, working backwards from the solstice, thinking that yesterday would be about right. I knew I might be a little bit on the late side yesterday, but it turned out I really should have been here, as I said, on the 27th, 28th, or 29th. 28th and 29th probably would be just about right. 27th might have been 26th. But now we know for next year. Next year we will come a bit earlier. Just debating opening things up a bit. It's going to go to 1,000th of a second to make things a little bit lighter. And so we took a couple of shots on slide 4, I think, or maybe 5. And we'll live with that. I wanted to shoot slide because, as you can see, the sun in the video and also in digital photos, it's just a burnt out white disc. I'm not seeing a burnt out white disc. I'm seeing a gold colored disc. It's not white. This is one of the problems with digital, is it just doesn't handle bright light sources very well. I think I'm going to pan a bit to the right so we see this twilight's last gleaming, as it were. Pan down a little bit. So it will cut off the top of the church a tiny bit. So we'll just let the sun continue to set here. You may be open up a bit more. 800th of a second. So I maybe didn't mention that we're using a 600 millimeter equivalent lens here. It's a 300 millimeter f4.5 Nicker lens with a 2x teleconverter attached to it. Bringing it up to 600 millimeters, f9 maximum aperture, but I'm stopped down to f8 on the lens, so in real terms f16. So essentially the exposure at the moment is an 800th of a second at f16 at ISO 100. And I don't really have a fast 600 millimeter lens, unfortunately. I have some 600 millimeter f8 lenses, but for various reasons I didn't bring them with me. So we're just going to let the sun set here. I think I will open up a bit more again. 500th of a second now. And the sky is almost completely clear. There's just a few thin clouds, hardly any cloud. Less cloud than there was last night, and there wasn't a whole lot last night. So I see the sun glinting off a condo in Longueuil again, like I did last night. I'm not sure if I'm gonna. Maybe I'll take one more shot here. So 500th at f16. Okay, so we'll see what we can do here. Let's see what we got here. That's not too bad. I was going to take another shot, but we're going to leave it at that. So the sun is pretty well completely gone below the visible horizon. We've seen the twilight's last gleaming, as it were. We're down at a 320 of a second now. So yeah, I think we're done as far as this shot's concerned. And I think I'm going to try and get some night photos in the port area. There's a cruise ship in the Euro Lagoon. So I'll see what I can do with that. And we might have a chance with the Northern Lights tonight. So depending on how I'm feeling later, I may try and capture the Northern Lights. I don't think it's going to be quite up to what we had on May 10th. But it could nevertheless be somewhat interesting. Let's just go down to 200 of a second here. So as you can see, the light fades considerably, because not that long ago we were up at around 2,000th of a second almost, 1,600th of a second. Now we're down around 200th of a second. But yeah.